Hello, Runner Rob here. First and foremost, let me congratulate you on being a Chow Runner's driver. And with being a Chow Runner's driver, you have a delivery app. There's a lot of resourceful information here, and while it seems intimidating at first to look at it, let me promise you that it is going to be one of your best friends on getting hot food to hungry people. So, without further ado, I have a volunteer today to let me take you through their account, and I put a test job in so I can walk you hand over hand on the entire process. When this is done, you're going to feel like a champ every time you look at the app. So, we have the Chow Runners app. Every time you're assigned a new job, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and basically refresh the page. And that's just by sliding down and refreshing to see all the jobs available. Uh, as you get them by rogering up in the chat, they're going to be come to your queue, and you can go ahead and open those jobs. If you don't know already, you're just going to simply click on the task and decide to accept or reject. For the time entered here, right now, currently the customer can't see the amount of time you entered. It's more for us to track of how you're doing time-wise so we know what to assign to you. And it's completely okay if, a job goes over 60 minutes and you think it's going to be that much. And on a side note, if it is going to be over 60 minutes, feel free to tell the customer. Honesty is always a priority, and we want you to be honest. Customer has every right to know. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and say 60. If I'm not sure, 60 is usually my default. And I'm going to hit accept. And we have a job. So taking you through from the top. First, on the top here, you have this little clock up here that indicates what time the job got actually sent into us for acceptance. The payment method, which always will be paid by card. The reason it's cash is just because it's a sandbox to take you through an example, but it will always be paid by card. Next is the name of the store. If the store has a number and it's not a sandbox, then it'll be in there where you can click it and call the store. It has a location down here with a little map sign, but you will not be able to click that. And I'll go back into what this is actually for. Then you have the name of the customer and whatever information they gave you to find them. So in this case, they're at 21 Area Fitness Center. This is the number, but you don't need to call that number. And this is the email, but that should be a last resort to contact them. And for some reason, they're in an area that has really bad bandwidth, and hopefully they can see a push notification through an email. Sometimes that happens. It's saved my bacon a couple of times. It might work for you, but more than likely you have two ways of talking to them. And the big one here is with this message system. So I'm going to click that message tab up there, and you have this message system up here. Now this message system tells you how this job is going. And the reason you see a paper here is I wanted to show in particular one example of how to take a picture of a receipt. So we're going to pretend this pink paper is my receipt. I'm going to place it down, and if you notice, there's a little picture of a picture on the tab down here, right over here. So by simply clicking that picture, image from camera, you can go ahead and take a picture of your receipt. Hit OK. Now, until I hit this little airplane to the right, it's not going to be sent. So I want to hit that picture of the airplane. And then that picture will show up in the blotter. And this is good for a couple of reasons. Number one, it gives us a chance to check the cost of the order to make sure that we're not shortchanging you when we pay you as we close you out. And it makes sure that our prices are honest with the store's prices. We always try to match the store, so it keeps us and helps us be honest with you, and it makes sure you're not shortchanged. Beat that dead horse there, because that's a big one for you. Money is money. Secondly, it keeps track of your receipts, which you're going to need when you come tax time, need to write them off. If you don't have a physical copy, now you have a digital backup attached to your job, which will be conveniently stored with all your completed job tasks in your phone. And that way you can go back there and copy and paste to your desktop later. And now you have something on file that says, this is a write-off for me. So, a couple of reasons to do it, but regardless, you should always do that. If you don't want the customer to see the receipt for some reason, and you just feel that it would be irritating to them, you can go ahead and click that customer tab off, and it'll go ahead and take that receipt tab off. And some of the drivers just really don't like to blotter up the chat with the customer. And I mean, it's not horrible. Customers usually say thank you if I send it. Not a big deal. But the option is there. So before you send it, you would just hit that check mark that goes to them. And this is also convenient if you need to send a direct message to us about problems with or issues with the order, request from the customer that seems a little bizarre, something that's wrong for safety reasons, just so there's tracking. And if there is an issue for safety reasons, don't throw them in the phone. Give us a call. We're there. And after that's done, let's talk a little bit about mapping to the restaurant. So up here, you see this little map thing. We're going to hit that. And now we can start navigation to the store. And it'll automatically take you to Google Maps, map your route out. Sometimes it goes to preview for me, but let's try that again. There we go. Now I've marked my mock restaurant at Naval Hospital Camp Pendleton, so that's why it's talking to us right now about the hospital. But so it's going to go ahead and take you to your route, and then you just follow the route. And when you get there, you go down to Arrive to Business. And the cool part is when I hit Arrive to Businesses, it'll actually pop up in your blotter. Now, because I've already marked all these statuses in this previous blotter, it's not going to pop up in real time right now. But it will. It will when you change the status. Something to note, as soon as you go from pending to actually accepting the job that's been assigned to you, it's going to be under the tab that says in progress. So if you don't see a job where you were looking at in pending, first thing to do is go to see if it's in progress. So now we picked up our order. We're going to hit that pick up complete. And then we're going to go back to this map up here again. Click that. And now, when I hit Start Navigation, it's going to navigate me to the customer. So I navigate to the customer. I send them a message that says, I'm here. The customer sees it, right? Comes out. If for some reason after 2 minutes they're not talking or coming out, then you can always go to that number for the customer, right? And because I'm mirroring my phone, I won't be able to call out in real time, but you can click it and it'll pop up your number on your screen to call, or you can just copy the number when it pops up on your screen to call and text them. And either one works. And once they have the order and they've accepted it, I hit delivery complete. And it's good to always go with these buttons in real time when things happen, because it gives us an idea to guesstimate what's going on with how long an order will take, traffic, where you're at. If we see an order for you that should have taken 45 minutes, it took an hour and a half, it prompts us to say, hey, was there an issue with the restaurant? Was there an issue with traffic? What was going on? And it's not saying that we're asking that in a bad light to you. We just want to make sure that we're doing everything to make you successful. And if there's a problem with the restaurant where they're stalling out, we want to know about it. We want to know about it and make sure that we can do everything in our power to make your life more convenient of getting hot food to hungry people. So that's the app in a nutshell. If there's any more questions, feel free to go ahead and email me. Wow. Feel free to email me, and I'd love to tell you all about it. I'd love to tell you what you can do with your app, what you can do with other things. If there's any topics, just bring it up to me. So again, Runner Rob here. Thank you for being part of the Chow Runners team. Peace.